Hey Internet, it's RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into the show today. Just in time for the upcoming holiday shopping season, US Bank is out with a brand new credit card that could help you get some, additional multipliers earned on your shopping sprees. Of course, we're talking about the launch of the US Bank Shoppers Cash Rewards card. So, typical fashion, we will break down this card. We'll talk about all the earnings, details, redemptions, everything you need to know. We'll do some math and we'll do some use cases to see who this card is right for, if it deserves a slot in your wallet or not. So, of course, if that sounds interesting to you, then go ahead, press the subscribe button and let's get to work. Now, of course, if you watch the show frequently or, you're just really plugged into the world of credit and finance, then you know that, maybe a week and a half ago, depending on when you're watching this, US Bank actually teased out this card. So as a result, we do have the majority of the information directly from them. However, there were some key details missing from that press release, if you will. So as a result, that's what we're going to cover today and give you a full overview, if you will. Now, I will say this before we get into it. If you need a refresher on US Bank as a whole or the credit cards that they offer, I will link you something down below that covers the full US Bank catalog as of early to mid 2022. Which, of course, it means I need to make a new one going into 2023 to incorporate this new card in there. But that'll be down below for you. So without further ado, again, we have an exciting new card to take a look at. So let's get into it here with the card itself to start. And this is the Shoppers Cash Rewards. Now, overall, again, we have that weird old-school bluish design, the vertical design that they always go with on their cards. I don't hate it. I know some people say it's kind of an older, retro look. I don't hate it. But anyways, what you're really here for, annual fee. This is one of the details that was missing from their press release earlier this month. So annual fee is going to be $95. However, this is going to follow the same US Bank format and waive that fee in year number one, which will be huge. Now, multipliers here, again, it's called the Shoppers Cash Rewards for a reason, because this is targeted at, shopping, specifically retail. So this is very much a category card, except this is like a choose your category card versus, the rotating categories that you see with a Chase or Discover. So for our first section here, you can earn 6x back on up to $1,500 a quarter in spend in combined purchases with the two retailers of your choice. And so there you have your full retailer list. Now, we have 24 different options that you can choose from. And overall, they do cover quite the gamut here. So we have Apple and Best Buy, which I'm a fan favorite of. Amazon, I think everyone likes, but they also have Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace Hardware. For the round out home improvement, they have some department stores, Lululemon, Macy's, Kohl's for your shopping, IKEA for furniture. I'm just doing some spot checking here. Target and Walmart are pretty big because they're usually left off the list for a lot of those rotating category cards. So overall, 24 different retailers, pretty wide selection there. I'm pretty impressed with that. But if we keep going, there's even more. So they also offer on this card 3% back on up to $1,500 a quarter in spend in one everyday category of your choice. So they have wholesale clubs, gas and EV charging, bills and utilities as the examples they give you. Now, in addition to that, every US Bank card, I believe, offers this one, but you can get 5.5x back on prepaid hotels and rental cars booked through their travel center. So it's basically like their travel portal. And then rounding this out is going to be a classic 1.5x on all purchases. And so there is your Shoppers Cash Rewards card. Now, as this is a brand new card, we will take a look at the welcome offer. Again, be mindful of when you're watching this video. May or may not be in play, but again, the time of taping, which is October 24th, this is the offer. So as a new account, if you spend $200, you can earn $250 cash back, basically, if you spend $2,000 in eligible purchases within the first 120 days of account opening. So overall, not too bad of a bonus there. That is everything you need to know about the Shoppers Cash Rewards card. Now, really quickly here, this is overall a pretty good card. This mirrors the Cash Plus card. So again, when it comes to category cards, right, you either have rotating categories like Chase Freedom Flex or Discover It Cash, where basically that card issuer has predetermined categories that they choose for you. This one, again, follows the US Bank format of, hey, you choose every quarter which categories you want. So again, similar to the Cash Plus, you when you set up your account, you'll get to choose initially, of course, because we're mid Q4 now. But again, going forward, as someone who has the Cash Plus, generally you can sign up for email alerts, and they'll remind you, hey, it's time to pick your categories again or your retailers again for the store, for the year, for the quarter, I should say, going ahead. That's the same with the other category as well, that everyday category. So overall, not too bad there. But really, the thing about it is every card makes sense in year number one, right? It's really how do we handle that annual fee of $95 in year number two. So, let's look at some math here to figure out that value. Then we'll talk about some use cases and who this card is for, at least in my opinion. So the math, I think, breaks down in two different tranches here. So on the left, this is for year number 2 and beyond, right? So on the left, let's just say you're only going to be interested in the 6X category, which I believe most of us will be interested in that category. Then the other ones we'll factor in a second. So $1,500, let's say you max that out each of the 4 quarters, that's $6,000 in spend. $6,000 in spend at 6% back is $360. If you subtract that annual fee, you're left with $265 cash back a year. That's if you didn't use this card on anything else. Now, if you go over to the right-hand side here, though, again, our top part is the same, but this time I'm factoring in the 3X category as well. Because, again, the 3X category is not bad by any means. So the same math there, $1,500 times 4 quarters, again, $6,000 in spend. $6,000 times 3% back, $180. Now, if you combine the two, again, you're going to get $540. Take out that annual fee of $95. You're left with $445 in cash back. So that kind of gives you a good comparison of what you can actually look at factoring in that annual fee. Now, there is a 1.5x category here. You could definitely factor that in if you wanted to. I'm not, because again, if you're using this card, you're probably a cashback fan, which means you should be using a 2% card, honestly. But if you just wanted one card, then yeah, you could do it, just adjust the math accordingly. So it could be more than that. But again, if you want cashback, I'm going to guess you're going to get a double cash or an active cash or a SoFi card, something like that that's going to give you 2% back for everything else. But overall, there you have it. That is the math. So what do we think about this card? Well, again, I think it's for 2 different people. Number one, if you're running cashback and you're trying to max out your setup, then this makes it easier, right? We have a lot of 5% cards, but there's not a lot of cards that punch all the way up to 6%, and that extra percentage could help. Again, you see the math of how much you could earn as well, and it also helps tighten up, especially if you're looking at some specific retailers that you always frequent, and maybe you're just sick of having to always go buy gift cards for and run that strategy, then, this could be a good option. Again, I do think that 3% category is pretty good. There are gas cards that can get you up to 4%. You have some optionality there. But again, 3%, not too bad. So I do think that's a viable option, whether you want gas or wholesale clubs. Because again, usually wholesale clubs are, not included in those grocery categories we see on other cards. So if you wanted, one card, I think this could be pretty good for you as well. That's probably who it's targeted to most, because again, you get a lot from one card, and then maybe you add a 2% card or something like that to help support it. Now, overall for me, I'm probably not going to go with this card myself, and the reason is I really think this comes down to how many cards you have or how many cards you want. Reason being is, I have so many 5% cards already that, getting an extra 1%, not that big of a page turner for me personally, but it doesn't mean it's not for you. And the other thing is, US Bank isn't really a shot at the card itself, but US Bank a little bit annoying in how they handle their redemptions. So if you go through the terms and conditions, for redemptions, you do have to redeem your cash back in increments of $25. Again, it's going to be, statement credits, gift cards into a U.S. bank account, things like that. But for me, I find U.S. Bank is a little restrictive. 6X versus 5 doesn't really do much for me personally, but again, I do think this is a pretty interesting card if you're looking to max out a cashback setup to the extreme, or you just want 1 or 2 cards maybe, and you obviously you're a big shopper at one of these retailers, and I think you definitely have an option in this card despite the annual fee. The math still does check out. So anyways, guys, that has been the Shoppers Cash Rewards card. Of course, if you like this one, drop me a thumbs up down below. If you found it particularly interesting, consider subscribing to the channel. Again, we're posting content just like this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And of course, right here every Sunday with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. Question for you guys is, let me know, did you already sign up for this card? Are you going to sign up for it? And how do you think you're going to best incorporate this into your setup going forward? Love to hear your thoughts on that. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this one. As always, thank you so much for watching. Talk to you very soon in the next one.